All right, so I'm a guest artist today at the Aveda Institute in Brandon, Florida. And I'm excited because we have to go through a storm. As you can see, we're in Florida, and Florida rains in the summer a lot. And it's gonna be a lot of fun, but we're gonna make it, okay? We will, promise you. Hold on. I'm not by myself, I have a companion. His name is Cookie.
Hey, how are you? I'm coming with you.
Oh.
What's my definition of success? A person that'll take a chance on something they were told could never happen. It's a person that can see the bright side through the dark times when there ain't one. It's when someone who
All right, we are in Brandon already, and I want you guys to see how bright it is in Florida. And then if you take a look behind us, there is a crazy storm right behind us that we just passed. We made it. We're right here. Salons by Jesse, right there. See that? Hair, nails, Salons by JC. Jesus Christ. Face, body. And we go through there. What? There's a secret code to this. A secret code, so no one can know it. It's
How come you can know we can't?
because it's my code. Hi. Hello. You working today?
I'm here on Mondays. Anna just lives in
Anna is Hey, how are you?
Good.
Heck yeah.
Hi. Look at cutie.
All right. We made it, bro. This is our space.
Hey. Hey, Anna, how are you?
All right. Get out of the way. Okay. This is Anna, co-artist in development. She's killing it, and she's gonna go to the sky, the moon. I don't know, somewhere far, just up there, just up there. You know, we're just gonna. Yeah, the ceiling. That's not a roof. That's a ceiling.
Maybe
Yeah.
electrocuted
Yeah.
with lights.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if this girl is here already.
A few moments later.
All right, so Alicia is here. She says she's going to be in 4 minutes. She's going to be our model, and we're going to be going to Aveda in a minute. 4 minutes, maybe more, a little bit. Let's see. We have an email here from David. Let's see. Here we go. Hello, Roberto. I would like to thank you again for being a guest this evening. When you arrive, please ask for Anna Garofalo or Nick Lambert. Something like that. Hopefully it's like that.
Lambert.
So, Lambert. Okay, something. They will assist you. All right, Anna Garofalo or Nick. Here we come.
I didn't know your last name was Gatto.
Garofalo.
No, it's not.
All right, Alicia's here. I heard the door. I think she's coming, so let's come get her. Hey, how are you? Thank you for coming.
Of course,
Thank you. You ready?
Yes.
All right, come on. Okay. You can let us. How are you? You good?
Good. Yourself?
Good, good, good.
move sweets or anything, so.
No. Well, I think last time we were here, yes? I don't remember, because we used to be in the middle first, and then we moved here. All right, come here, see. Let's see. Let me see your hair. Let's hang up this right here. Wow, cool purse, bro. Dang. Okay.
I wore white.
Yep. Good. Okay. Yeah. So we are going to leave it as long as possible for sure, but then we're going to do some more layer. Come over here. You guys, you need to see this. Anna is looking freaking cool. Look at those shoes. Dang, son. Show it up. Woo! Nike, bro. Dang.
Oh my goodness. I like the focus.
I know. All right, here we are. We are in the institute right here, ready to get started. I'm supposed to look for Nick or Anna. Aveda School Institute. Here we go, guys. Let's go. Sucks. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Roberto.
Hey, Roberto, ¿cómo estás?
Un placer,
Mucho
un placer.
gusto.
Un placer, gracias.
Ok, encantada.
Gracias.
Hello.
So, Ana es mi coartista. Ana y Ana.
Ana.
¿Conoce a Ana?
Hi.
Yeah? Yeah.
Yo también voy a usar. Hello.
So this is Alicia. She's
Alicia.
going to be my model, my hair model. So I'm going
Okay.
to use her as a model. It's
Okay.
going to be like a short presentation for the haircut.
No problem.
And then everything is going to be like motivational, inspirational, just kind of like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go check, and I think we are perfectly on time.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Right?
Bye.
Yeah, I'm going to go check everything's fine with them.
I got the room all set up.
Yeah, let's go.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Robert, nice to meet you.
You go to Mentorship. That's it.
Anna. Oh, sorry. Can you go get me 2 books, like one in Spanish and one in English? please? One in Spanish? Yeah. No, peloterapia. Yeah. Hairapy. Hi.
Danny, you want to get them together for a huddle?
Hold on. Boom. When people graduate, they hit that. Boom, boom.
Yeah, they had graduation today.
Hey.
They just told me to put a chair in here.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate that very much, for sure. Alicia. Yeah, of course. Of course, I needed to be ready to see, what we're gonna do. Sometimes I like to play around with doing something live, but like. Happy birthday, Anna.
Thank you.
Hey, I know we're not supposed to ask, but how many years? Like a lot of years.
She's 41 again.
41?
I
Dang.
take 41.
Okay. Table? Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Roberto Carlos Torres Nevares. That's my first and last name. I'm Puerto Rican, born and raised in Puerto Rico. I grew up there my entire life and then moved here when I was 31 years old. I'm 25 now. I'm originally born and raised in Puerto Rico. That's where my whole foundation for hair came from. That's a very important fact because Puerto Ricans are a mix of white, black, and Indian. And so we have all kinds of texture hair. And therefore we get to learn everything, especially when I started cosmetology back in the day. Hairstylists were expected to do everything. When I say everything, it's like updos, makeup, weddings, haircuts, colorists. You are everything in one package. Nowadays, over the years, I have more focus in the things that I actually do like because I did not like working with weddings. It was really fun at the end. When the bride was completely done and the makeup was done and the hair was done and the veil was on, like, that's when I was like, I'm so good at this, I love it. But the whole process of working with the, the bridal shower and, if she's stressed out and the momzilla will come in and will tell, boss you around. If you know anything about Puerto Ricans, they're very passionate, how they talk. They're very like intense. It's like, I like the hair like this. And you have to be like, sure. So that really gave me a lot of experience. When I was 23 years old, well, first of all, let me just say this. This is really fun. I've been doing hair for 28 years. Some of you guys were not even born when I was already doing hair. I'm looking at you. And so every time I say that, the next question in your mind is, then how old is this kid? Because I'm a kid, but I'm not gonna tell you. I'm just gonna make you do the math. I started doing hair when I was 16 years old. I started really young. Thankfully, I had a dad who pushed me in the sense of he was really angry with me because I cut my hair myself one time and he decided that he was not gonna give me money to get a haircut, that he was gonna buy me some hair clippers. And from that point on, I was gonna have to cut my hair myself. And I took the challenge. And I wanted to be like my neighbors. My neighbors used to get a haircut every single week, and I wasn't allowed, so they were not giving me money. They were making me work for money. What is that about? I was 10 years old. Come on. And so I started cutting my hair every 4 days. And then, of course, I would go to the barber shop to just go and watch and ask questions and learn. And over time, I got really good. And then my neighbors were asking me, who's cutting your hair? And I told them me, and then they didn't believe me, so I brought a bunch of my friends to my house so they can watch me cut my hair myself. Then they believed me, they let me cut their hair for free, and then eventually $1, $2, $3. And then by the time I was 16 years old, my parents forced me to get a job. They said, now you're a grown-up, which not true, but okay, I was grateful that they pushed me. My grandpa was a best friend with the owner of the best barbershop in the city at the time. And because he had that kind of influence, he talked to the owner, and the owner told him, hey, you can bring your grandson and he can do a model in front of us. If we like him, we'll take him and we'll give him a job. Well, back in the day in Puerto Rico, there was an apprentice program that was established by law that I could work without a license under the supervision of someone that was licensed. And so I went, I did a model, they liked it, and they gave me a job at the age of 16. And I was working in the best barbershop in the city, which is mind-blowing for me. After a year working there, then I learned that I was really good at it. I liked it. I was making more money. I was only part-time, but I was making more money than some of the full-time guys. And then I started thinking about this more as a career instead of just a job. Does that make sense? Because anybody can get a job, not everybody can find a career. It's two different things. And finding a career is extremely important. If you're not really, really, really passionate about this, I would really consider choosing something that you're passionate, because this is a very beautiful industry, and yet it's extremely challenging as well. Okay? I'm not gonna make it like fluffy for you guys to be like, yay, everything's gonna be good. You will have challenges, you will have situations, you will have to work with people, and so again, it's a beautiful thing. But I started moving into career. By the time I was 23 years old, I ended up working in the same school that I graduated from, which was pretty cool. I was a teacher in the same school, and I loved it, but I was a hairstylist during the day and a teacher during the night, and I was burnt out really, really bad. And so after 3 months of being there, I decided to make a career change just to focus only on salon. Thankfully, there was a salon, a celebrity hair salon in Puerto Rico that one of the celebrities that used to get the hair done that only you guys know about, and it's Ricky Martin, living la vida loca. Yeah? Okay. Well, he was one of the celebrities that used to go to that salon. The owner, her name was Wanda Montes. She's still alive. She doesn't own the salon anymore. We had all kinds of celebrities from the island. She was very popular, very famous. And I got a job there because I was an educator already, and they saw it as an opportunity for me to come in and kind of be part of their team. And I think that was the very foundational part of my journey, where I will say that 60% of what I do and what I know today actually came from that experience. So that whole journey, I'm telling you a short version of my journey so that you know, like all the way up to there, in that moment was where I got so many skills that had helped me and had carried me all throughout the years. Now, some people love celebrities. God bless you if you do. I was not, for a little bit, it was fun because back in the day, there was no social media. And the only way for you to be known in the island was through celebrities who already had established reputation, and they will mention your name, they will say who does their hair, that kind of stuff. Then you will be in magazines and TV shows and television, like news and everything. And that was like, you know, in the beginning, 23-year-old me, I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then 27-year-old me, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. You know, like, because it was a lot. There's a lot of pressure that comes with it, and there's like a lifestyle that you kind of have to kind of like be in it, you know, if you like it. Hey, I know some people that love it. I am not one of those. After that, I moved to the States back in 2012. And there was a very humbling experience because from being someone that was well known in the island to coming to Brandon, Florida, that no one knows who the heck you are. No one's really care either. Like, what celebrity? And I will mention some of the names. They were like, oh, Ricky Martin. It's like, oh, yeah. But I wasn't even the stylist for Ricky Martin, you know what I mean? So I was like, it was really humbling. I will never forget, though, moving from Puerto Rico here, I got a job at a salon here. It's called Blue Salon, and I worked there. It was an incredible experience for me. It was really good. But my first paycheck of 2 weeks of work was $172 with 83 cents. I will never forget that. I saw that check, and I wept like a baby. Because after being used to making $1,000 a week like nothing and mind you, I'm talking about 20 years ago, $1,000 a week was really good, much better than now. It was very humbling. But you know what? I decided to stick to what I love and continue to do what I love, and that pushed me and continue to be hopeful. And that was kind of like the beginning of a little bit of the journey of defining, because being in that celebrity salon, there was a style of doing things that I wasn't really fond of. And I was told that this is how you become successful. So I started doing everything that I was told. Now I moved to Brandon. I don't have anyone behind my ear telling me this is how you do hair, this is how you should be, you know, whoever. Now I am like finding myself in a way, kind of like starting all over again. And I have a story here. I'm an author. I wrote this book completely without ChatGPT. ChatGPT did not help me. It was before ChatGPT. I call it Hairapy. And the introduction of this book is actually an experience that I had with this one lady where she told me, after I blow out her hair, I did her hair a few times, and after blowing out her hair for like maybe the 6th, 7th time, I don't remember, she paid for her service, and then came back and kind of like with shaky hands, she gave me like a stack of money that was pretty big, and I was like, well, okay. She gave me a tip. It was a $300 tip, and the reason why she gave me that is because she said to me, every time I come here, you always help me because you're always full of hope. And every time I come, you're always telling stories of hope. Well, during that time that was really difficult for me, one of the things that I started doing was I started memorizing, I started looking for, finding, and memorizing stories of hope. Stories of people that were in the pit, if you will, in difficult times, and they got out of it. And I started imagining myself being one of them, because it was really difficult to move here to the States. My language, my English was not as good as it is right now. Like talking more like this, and I didn't know how to talk really well. And it was a really big challenge for me. Everything was a challenge for me. In fact, I took the test, the cosmetology test, and I failed by 1 freaking point. 1 point. I got in the car, and I was so angry that I smashed the middle compartment like, boom! And then years later, I'm telling this story, and it was my wife's car. And I'm telling this story to some friends like, oh, that was you? I thought that broke by itself. I said, no, that was actually me. Because it was really difficult. But you know what? What I found was that for me, people are my passion, hair is my craft. I started understanding that lady, her coming out of that experience of hair, coming full of hope, was actually more fulfilling for me than actually making tons of money. Does that make sense? And everybody has their own why, but I found my. So I like always to share, and that's why I call this Hairapy, because for me, hair is a means to an end, and the end for me is always people. If at the end of the day, I did great hair, which I'm really good at, and I just say this out of arrogance, I'm like, I'm so good, which I am. You gotta acknowledge when you're good, that's fine. But for me, if I actually elevated someone's spirit and their mind, and they felt like not just like beautifully externally, but I imparted something in them that is like internally, that transcends hair, I did my job. That's what fulfills me. Does that make sense? So this is the person who's talking to you today. This is my why. This is what I do. I love to leave a legacy. I think my next book is gonna call For Hairdressers Know Your Why, because I call it, there's 4 types of why: baby why, bossy why, influential why, and then legacy why. I came up with this. No one has told me. I didn't read a book about it. None of that stuff. This is me, like my brain of creative thinker. Baby why is when someone tells you need to get a job, and you try hair just because, right? You need to get some money. You do your neighbor's hair. That's why you do hair. That's your baby why. And then you get to the bossy why, which is like, no, I want to make some money, and you have some goals, and you want to like accomplish something. You want to dominate something. You want to kind of like establish yourself as an authority in a certain way in the industry, which is amazing to have, right? But then if you stay there, you're not going to be fulfilled, because after you've reached that goal, what's next, right? You're always going to be chasing something. I call it, the third one is the influential why. Influential why is when you absolutely love what you do with passion. It's like, this is your life. You live for this. Like this, you cannot, I wake up every day pumped that I'm gonna get to do hair. And I've been doing hair for 28 years. I think I have more hope today than I have like 20 years ago, to be honest. You know what I mean? And so that's the influential why. And the legacy why is when you're consumed with the idea of, how do I take what I have and pass it on to the next generation? Because I know that 20 years from now, I'm not gonna be a cool hairstylist. Which I might be cool, but I don't know, who knows? You know what I mean? So everybody has a why. You gotta find yours. I always encourage people to think about, why do you do hair? And that answer to that, there's layers to it. You gotta find the deepest part of that, so that when times get tough, and they will, you keep on going because you know why you're doing this. Does that make sense? All right, cool. Well, today we have Alicia here. She's gonna be a model. I wanna do a short presentation with her about a haircut. It's gonna be dry cutting. I actually love dry cutting a lot. And if you guys notice, I have a couple of things that I like to take into an intentional action when I'm doing hair. For example, she has dark hair. So I ask her, wear something white, because when we take pictures and stuff, and we're creating content, something white is gonna create a nice contrast with her hair, right? If I have someone that is blonde with you and black, blonde and black, perfect. Because when we're gonna take content, we're gonna create pictures or videos or whatever, that hair really contrasts with the hair. Does that make sense? The same I do with the capes. I use black capes with blondes, white capes with dark hair. Does that make sense? Why do you guys think I do that? Anyone? Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Now, if you have someone that comes to you and she's really scared because she has gotten her hair chopped off by someone else many, many times, and she has what I call haircut trauma, when you have this, do you think it's gonna be helpful so that she can visually see what's happening when you're cutting in front of the mirror? Yes? So I do it for the peace of mind as well, because I am constantly, unfortunately, I'm constantly fixing haircuts a lot. And so I do get a lot of clients that have haircut trauma. And I can sense the fear. My job is to minimize that fear. So if you have a black cape with the black hair, what the heck is she seeing? That make sense? All right, cool. So You didn't caught that on camera. You're gonna edit that. Content creation, guys, is another thing, man. We're gonna talk about that more later after we do the haircut. But content creation, I know a lot of times nowadays, a lot of hairdressers, they tell me, I did not sign up to this to be a content creator, and I'm like, neither did I. I did not. And people think that I love creating content for social media. I do not. But you know what I do love? I love the connections that it brings me, the opportunities, and the people that I get to connect with because of it. Okay? I don't care if you're a hairdresser, if you're a baker, if you are whatever you do in terms of business, if you don't have a social media presence, you are not gonna go that far, unfortunately, because everybody's gonna be looking at what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it. In fact, I get clients all the time because I'm asking constantly, how did you find me and why did you choose me? And one of the clients lately said, you look like funny in the videos. And funny in a good way, like she was like, that I'm like funny, like I like to have fun, you know what I mean? People wanna know who's doing their hair. Sometimes I see a page for a hairdresser that is all hair, and I've never seen the person's face. I'm like, who are you? I don't know who you are. I would not trust you. If I want to look for someone to get my hair done and I cannot see who you are, what your face looks like, I mean, I was going to say something mean, but I'm learning to control my... But does that make sense, guys? Like, does that make sense? All right, well, anyways, social media is for after the haircut. Now let's have some fun. She said that she was cool with like haircut right here to the neck. Ah, you wish. So do I. But no, that's not gonna happen.
You don't wish that.
No, I don't wish that. It's true. I don't wish it. No, I don't wish it. No, honestly, like, so one of the things that I want to do with her, because it's simple, face framing, concave layers, leaving the hair, the perimeter, the length, completely untouched as much as we can, because I want to create a lot more movement. Her hair is flat, and she has a partition right here that naturally, her hair naturally parts right there. But I haven't asked her yet, but I know she flip-flops. You know what is that, flip-flop? I'm actually going to make a funny video, but like, I'm going to ask clients, like, do you flip-flop? You know, like, just ask a bunch of people, and be like, yeah, I do flip-flop. Flip-flop, you know? Some people use their hair like, you know, they have the habit to do this, right? I can see her right there, like, or do the opposite side. And I think when we do concave layers, the way that I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be like carving technique. It's gonna be a lot better because it's gonna create more like a razor cut. I don't use razor that much. I actually like use scissors more. There's a reason for that, but I'm not gonna get into that. But my point is that when you do a texturizing kind of haircut that leaves no lines, she can flip-flop better, and it's gonna be a lot more texture. Does that make sense? All right, so in the consultation with her, we agreed that she was gonna allow me to have her bangs to start from the nose. So if someone wants to start on the nose, do you cut right on the nose or not? Ah, why not? I see you making a face. What is it, what?
Margin of error.
Huh?
You gotta give yourself room.
Exactly. You see, even they think they agree with you or applauding you.
I get that all
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, obviously, we're not gonna cut right on the nose. We're gonna leave some room. I have a philosophy, better. Guys, there's a graduation there. There's some shooting happening. No, it's not true. It's not true. They're just celebrating. They're making a lot of noise. My philosophy is I like to leave it longer in the beginning than shorter, because if I'm not 100% sure, when I'm 100% sure, I'm just gonna, if you see some of my videos, I'll be like, cha, and then I actually grab the hair and just throw it on her like that, just for fun. But when I'm not 100% sure, I'll leave it a little bit more room than what I'm thinking. I think I should go like, I always leave like half an inch or an inch longer, so that, you know, we'll look at it again, and then we evaluate, and I'll ask her, do you think it's good there? And if not, I'll go back and I'll recut a little bit more. Does that make sense? Yeah? All right, cool. So Usually, I like to do a lot of visual hair cutting. I know there's some rules to how teachers, so if you're judging me, you can judge me, it's okay. So usually you kind of grab the comb where it's doing that wiggle. That's where we choose the bangs, the fringe, right? But a lot of people don't take this into consideration. A lot of women have receding hairlines, okay? And what that happens is there is a gap that is going to happen between the layers in the front, and you can measure it correctly and it's still gonna look wrong. Does that make sense? Because there's a gap, and it's not your fault, and it's not your measurement fault, it's that you need to take into consideration there's hair missing in that part, and there's gonna be a lot of hair from the top, a lot of hair on the bottom, almost no hair here. It's gonna look like it has two different disconnected things going on. And it is your job to connect those. Does that make sense? Cool, all right. So, a little bit of over direction. I see the nose right there. I'm gonna do a carving technique. It is doing a C-shaped, C form, almost like in and out, doing this, okay? I'm gonna start on the lips, and then I'll throw the hair on her like that, just for fun. We evaluate a little bit, see it how it's looking. There's still some more room for more. Grab the same hair, go back. And so, because there is a lot less hair here, I know that you're supposed to grab like specific sections that are perfectly, but she has more hair on this side and she has a partition that goes in that direction. I am choosing to have a little bit more hair on this side to create a little bit more balance. So I'm kind of breaking the rules, if you will. You evaluate, you see it. See that? Sucker out there. And I create this as a guideline. See, it's almost like razor, very, very soft. And if you want to make it a little bit more defined, of course, I'll go back. All right, and I'm going to use that as a reference. Her sides are parted to the front. I'm leaving the back untouched, and I stand behind her. And I'm going to, with very little elevation, this is a big comb. I like big combs and I like big scissors. And I'm going to create a lot of tension. I'm going to lower it as low as possible. And I'm going to carve. I'm going to do it really fast now so that you guys don't get bored. See that right there? The whole time she's watching what I'm doing. The whole time she can see what's happening. Obviously, like right now I can't because mirror is too far away. But because I'm letting the hair fall on top of the cape, we have a lot of control. Simple, and yet not that simple. Because I've been teaching this. I actually did a class in Naples, and it was 11 hairstylists that took the class, and I was, this is simple stuff. For me, it's like, this is simple. 10 out of 11 got it wrong, so I had to fix 10 of those. So for me, in my mind, this is so easy, this is basic, it's simple, but it takes practice to get to do it. Because sometimes I feel like, especially, there was one of the stylists that said that she didn't like to stand behind the client, to have like this position. She always stands in the front, and I'm like, it's okay. Like, I'm not saying that you're wrong by standing in front of the client. I'm also giving you another option to have a little bit of more comfortable positioning where you can use the mirror as your measurement, if you will, the cape, the hair, and you still, your body posture is pretty good. Instead of just standing here, and I don't even know how the heck you will like, you know, I know how I will do, I have different techniques that I will do it if I'm standing in the front, but I'm not gonna show you right now because that's gonna be another class, another day, for another time, maybe another year, who knows. Now, we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side, very little elevation, and then I'm going to do a C pattern. C, see that? I'm not cutting into it all the way back. I'm not doing a mullet. on her hair. Can you see that? You guys see what I'm saying? Okay, you got it? All right, here we go. Same thing, little elevation. I'm gonna do it a little bit faster because I don't want you guys to get sleepy and bored. Sorry, I just smacked the heck out of you, your face. Okay. And then I use the cape sometimes to help me measure and know and understand where there's some missing pieces. But as you guys can see, simple. Then I section the back in the very center, push the hair forward, and I connect the dots between what's happening in the front with the back. Like we said, the perimeter, we want to leave it as long as possible. So I don't want to touch too much of that, but I'll do the same thing. I'm going to ask myself one question. Roberto, why are you doing face framing first? Roberto, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. The answer to that is because if she's a client that comes with already haircut trauma, I want to establish that trust in the beginning, and establishing the outward part of the hair is going to be important for me so that later I can move into the layering part. Because then I know where my guidelines are in terms of the perimeter, in the face framing, and in the bottom. Now, after I do that simple thing, I have my clients, because she has long hair, and a lot of people, I often see that they will cut their hair right here where the chair is. There's always going to be elevation with the chair. When you have long hair like this, there's no way that you can do a perfect straight line with the bump of the back of the chair. So what do? I'm going to have her fly. Turn the cape around, and she holds her corners like that. That helps me to create a clean space so that I can see better. And then we cut the rest. Obviously, you have your client have her head down because there's always some suckers, some little hairs on the bottom that come out. You want to clean those as well. Not that she's going to be walking around with her head like that, but you always want to clean that anyways. Now this is going to be the fun part, because I want you guys, I'm going to show you one side and then the other without the layering. And it just makes such a big difference. It kind of makes me, it's obsessing for me. All right, so now we're going to do some more carving. Why did I say that I like this technique? Someone tell me, please.
The carving?
Yep.
Is it softens it with like a razor?
Yes, yes, yes.
Say it. It's like a razor cut, but it's not using a razor, it's doing a C with the scissors.
Right. Exactly. Good job. What's your name? Nevaeh. Good job, Nevaeh. All right. Her length, see it right there? That's the bottom. From here, doesn't even reach some hair, but I want to leave it full, because that's one of the things that I hear often, is that layers are gonna make your hair look thinner. That's not true at all. The wrong layers are gonna make your hair look thinner. The right layers are gonna enhance volume and movement on your hair, okay? So if you don't know how to do those layers, just be honest with your client, but don't lie. I had one client that was like, the stylist told me that I couldn't get layers because it was gonna make my hair look very thin. I'm like, no. All right, here we go. Tension under my knuckles, not above. I can do it above if I want to, but it will be a more defined layers. If that's what you're looking for, that's fine. That's not wrong. And yet, for this technique, I prefer to go under my knuckles because the control, the pressure, precision is going to be better. So right now, there's enough precision right there. I know where I want my layers to start, like around here, around her shoulders. So I'll start carving, opening and closing, opening and closing. I'm losing tension, so I'll go back. I grab that tension again. You see that guideline right there? Opening and closing, opening and closing, opening and closing, opening and closing. Okay, that's the whole approach. See, even they are excited about it. I'm telling you. Okay, now I find my guideline. I know it's around here. Somewhere you see it, right there. And we do the same. Opening and closing, opening and closing, opening and closing. I'm losing tension. Find it again. I like this technique because one is visual. I can see what's happening and it's dry. So sometimes with hair like this, I can actually just, instead of just starting cutting from the beginning, I just blow it out and then start cutting once it's dry.
Probably longer than that.
I prefer cutting dry on straight.
Why do I prefer cutting dry?
Like on straight. I know like a lot of people prefer it on curly, but why do you prefer on straight?
For the visualization, it's just visually speaking, it gives me a lot more control. I don't do all haircuts dry. If it requires a lot of precision, like if she were to be like, yo, I want a bob, I would have not done it dry. But I could not, I could do this when the hair is wet. It's just the outcome is not gonna be the same because the strokes from the scissors are gonna be a lot more aggressive when the hair is wet than when it is dry. So to answer your question more directly, it allows me to do softer strokes and have a lot more control when it comes to the hair cutting part. Does that make sense? Because when the hair is wet, if you go and do the strokes like that, you're gonna be taking a lot of, there's no way that you can slide. The sliding is a lot easier when it's dry. Yeah. Also, you look cooler too. Don't ever dismiss that. I say that jokingly, but I mean it at the same time. Because some people are not looking for a show room, basically, of a hairstylist, but it doesn't hurt if you actually do something that looks like cool or people are like, wow, this stylist, like, he does all that movement and all that stuff. Like, they used to joke with me that at Blue Salon, when I used to work, they used to say that I used to dance when I cut hair, which I didn't really understand that until like later on, where I'm like, because I do some movement and I'm like so intense when I'm in it, like. So I'm not really dancing, I'm just moving in a way that I'm just loving what I do. I love cutting. I do a lot of colors too, but cutting is definitely my jam. It's my passion. So right now I'm over-directing a little bit because one of the things that I don't like personally about long hair with layers is when the layers in the front is so intense that it looks like a mullet. You guys seen that? You guys know what I'm talking about? Where the layer in the back, in the front is so intense that the back has a very, very strong V shape, which I'm not opposed to the V shape. I'm just opposed of a mullet that is long. unless that's intentional, because I do love shack haircuts and I love like, wolf cuts. I love all that stuff. I really do. Cool, one side is done. The other side is not done. And I want you guys to be the judge. In terms of the fullness of the hair, can you see any big difference when you're like, dang, this side looks empty, this side looks full? No, right? Okay, now watch this. When you do this, See how airy that hair is? How easy it pops? This one is more like flop, flop. Does that make sense? So now when she styles her hair, still has a lot of fullness to it. It's not empty, and yet she can like curl it and have like a really cool style. Isn't that cool? See, I love what I do. I dance. I like to dance, bro. I have one of my core values is fun. If you're not having fun when you're doing hair, I know there's seasons that it's like stressful, of course, because you're learning things and you're probably like dealing with challenging people. Okay, I lost my guideline. I need to go back and redo it. If you lose your guideline, please don't keep going. You gotta recover that guideline really well. You gotta make sure that you know exactly where you're cutting, because if not, you're gonna make a mess. And one side is gonna look very weird, different than the other. All right, here we go. I found it. It was lost and now it's found. If you're not having fun when you're doing hair, man, what the heck are you doing with your life? Because I met too many like serious hairdressers, and I don't know. I don't know if they do it for the money or whatever, but I like to have fun. One of, so that you guys know, Anna that is here, she was my assistant for over a year, and now she's on the floor taking clients. And one of her job descriptions when she first started working with me is like, you have to be roastable. You gotta let me roast you.
Emotional damage.
And that's part of our dynamic. Of course, I'm not talking about being disrespectful. That's not what I'm saying, but we joke. Like, you know, we have fun in a respectful way. If you're crossing lines, then that's a different dynamic. I don't cross lines. And if I do, I'll apologize, of course. But I like to have fun. And this is the reason why. What's up with you, bro? That thing is attacking me. I feel like there was like someone behind me. I'm like, what are you doing? But no. What is that thing for?
They're for extension cords.
Oh, okay. Extension cords and annoying the heck out of a educator. All right. I thought about punching it, but then I thought it was gonna be disrespectful, you know, so. See, I don't wanna cross the line, bro.
If somebody had wanted layers like this, but they wanted them a little bit more like defined and showy, how would you go about doing that from a haircut like this?
That's a great question. She asked a question. If someone wants the layers to be more defined, how would I do it? I will definitely do it not under my knuckles, but above, and I will do a more defined layer, defined line. For example, I will go here, making sure that my fingers are looking or pointing to the head. Sometimes I will even go further and go like that and just cut right there. Boom. Very strong line. But this one, I just want to make it more airy, but that's a good question. You have a question?
You wanted to do more of a V in the back?
Uh-huh.
How would you do that?
Okay, if she would have said, I want more of a V shape, and that's extremely important for her, I would definitely face frame this a lot more different, like harder or shorter. Not, okay, instead of doing low elevation, how I've been doing, I will actually bring it up here, and I'm gonna show you, if I were to cut with like a lot of elevation, look how much hair I'll be taking off. And now we'll cut here. Like anger like that. See, just not with anger. But does that make sense? I will over direct, to answer your question more directly, I will over direct the hair, and I will do a lot of stronger face framing so that it flows better to the back. Yeah.
Do you use a specific dry cutting shears or something like that?
These are hybrid.
Okay.
Okay. She's my co-artist. I also have these that are specifically for dry cutting. The blade is angled. This will not do straight lines. So if I grab a piece of hair and I try to go like under and do a straight line, it will push the hair because it's not meant for wet cutting or straight cutting. It's meant for dry cutting. And so the fun about these, if I were to have a little bit of fun, I'm going to show you guys a little bit more a fun technique that I think requires a little bit more practice, of course. It's called back cutting. I'm going to find her guideline right there. It's right here. And just for fun, I'm going to do a little bit more layering. This is my guideline. I'm going above the knuckles. And it's going to be a C pattern as well, like you're scooping, I guess, ice cream. Let me see if I can do it slow. So this is the pattern. Okay, like that. Now in a fast motion, it will look more like this. Dry cutting scissors and practice, to be honest, because I can still do it with this. It will not pull the hair because of practice, I guess. It's just I have a couple of things. I let the scissor rest on my finger. It's almost like it's like hitting my finger. I know it's kind of weird, but it works for me. I never teach this. I just told you guys. I never tell a stylist, let the scissors hit your finger. No, I don't do that. But I do it, so it works for me. But basically, the technique is just back cutting. You just gotta make sure that you do it properly and fast enough. So these are not dry cutting scissors, but you see how it's hitting my fingers? Yes. I am not going to, I'm just going to say don't buy one that is $2,000. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. There are companies out there that have dry cutting scissors. These scissors are, my best friend and I, this is a company that we started, okay? We don't have them right now on stock, so I can't. This is not me doing a sales pitch to you. We don't have them, but these are from our company. Ooh, I almost cut my finger. You see that? Dang, that was gonna be crazy. But there are scissors out there. Dry cutting, if I'm not mistaken, maybe not. Shark fins or something, I don't know. You're gonna have to do your own research. I've been trying to tell my buddy that we need to get them back because every time I do a class like this, people are always asking me about them. And we don't have them in stock. We haven't had them in a while. Because they're very unique. Not a lot of people, and honestly, like one of the experiences that we've been having is once people buy them, they're not 100% sure how to use them because they are not for straight cutting. So a lot of people don't know how to use them. So we kept the hybrid styles of the scissors so that it's more, generic. People use them, they buy them. Hybrid it's good. It's just that the blade is straight, and it's more straight cutting. So if you do a wrong move, you might cut your fingers and a straight line, and your client is gonna cry, and she's never gonna come back, and she's gonna write you a wrong review, a bad review. Then you're gonna cry in your house, and it's gonna be a lot of crying. Just because some pair of scissors were not dry cutting, You guys joke, but this is actually, I'm actually joking and I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, you know how many times I've seen that happen? Where a stylist is literally like, they're like double guessing their career because a client was like so unhappy. They're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It's like, dude, you literally did like 20 clients this month that were super happy, and this one client that gave you a hard time, just you're double guessing if you want to do hair or not. You shouldn't ever base your decisions on those feelings. You know what I mean?
So have you ever had clients give you a very hard time because they didn't like it, or have you ever caught yourself making a mistake?
Because, so yes and yes, right? Recently, I had one client that as I was giving her a piece of information, she walked out of the chair, grabbed her purse, and just walked away. And I was very happy with that. The reason is, she made an appointment. It was first-time client. She came to an appointment for bangs haircut. And her hair, when I first saw it, I thought it was gel. It was oil. And she was actually very proud of her oily hair. And I was trying to explain to her that, I mean, mind you, I'm not a very picky person in terms of like oily hair. I know some stylists are like super like grossed out. I'm a dude, so I don't really care that much. But I know some people have like very strict rules. If you come with the hair like not clean, it's gonna be like a big no-no, whatever. I'm saying I'm not that person. But her hair was so oily that you couldn't move. Fancy scissors, I believe they have. You could move it and like stick it in a specific way, just to say that. And so I told her that I couldn't cut her bangs because the bangs were not really like, the style of the hair was not gonna grab. It's not gonna flow. I wasn't not gonna be able to see. And so when I tried to explain to her that her oily hair was not gonna allow me to do that, she got upset. And she even asked me if I liked her or not. Like, do you not like me? Because I feel a lot of animosity here. And I said, no, I never said that. And yeah, this is really weird what's happening right now, so I'm just trying to explain something. And she grabbed her purse as I was explaining that, she just left. So I was happy. I was like, that's great. I was not disappointed. I was not upset. And then I had another client that was trying to just tell me what to do. Just trying to tell me what to do. Literally. Like, what color did I mix, and how did I mix it, and when she gets it done, like, where do I need to start applying? And when she started doing that, I literally like grabbed hair like that. I was about to like put the next stroke of color, and I just gave her the dad look, like, and I just stared at her for like 10 seconds. Super awkward moment, you know what I mean? And she got the point. And she tried to come back again. And I kindly, listen, guys, and this is serious now. I'm not like joking. I had a friend of mine ask me a while ago, she's like, isn't it super annoying to deal with difficult clients? And I said, no. It's like, what do you mean? I said, I don't have difficult clients. You guys to see Anna's like, you don't? Face. I said, why? He asked me why. I said, because I fire them. I don't take crap from people. I've been doing this for 28 years. I think I'm past that already. And I work really hard to create a culture in my space that I want to see and I want to have. And if you don't match that culture, if you don't match that energy, you're definitely going to grab your purse and you're going to leave yourself. I don't have to fire you. I don't have to push you out. You know what I mean? But I kindly said to her, I said, hey, like, because she was writing me a message, and I said, hey, I did your hair, because she was not my client, first of all. So I said, I did your hair as a one-time favor. I would like to keep it that way. I hope you understand. And I wish you to have a really, really good day. That was it. Nothing mean. I didn't say anything about like her personality or anything. I don't ever try to cross lines or boundaries with people because honestly, I consider myself someone who strives to be loving in everything that I do. And I don't ever want to come across as rude, but I do want to come across as someone who is firm, who can be direct, and sometimes people will confuse being direct with being mean, which is not always the case. And yeah, I'll let them go. I work here in Salons by JC, and my first year working there, I had 4 clients that I fired that year, and they were all Puerto Rican. So honestly, like, it's kind of frustrating in a way for me, because I wish that we will like represent differently, but I also understand, culturally speaking, Puerto Ricans tend to be pretty, passionate people, opinionated people, and that's just who we are. And not like, at the same time, I have some Puerto Rican clients that are the absolute best people in the world for me. So it's a mix, You always got people and you got people, and it is what it is. You just gotta make sure that 1, you're direct, 2, that you're loving, And sometimes that's really hard to do, to be honest, guys, because sometimes you wanna be so mean. Like, I literally wanted to leave her with her hair, like I was doing a color retouch, because all right, let me tell you the story so you guys have a little bit more context. When she got to the salon, the first thing, she was gonna get a color retouch. She had gray hair, and I said, so we're doing a color retouch to cover your gray hair, yes? It's like, sorry, but I don't want you to call it that. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. Is there a reason for that? Yeah, I mean, no one needs to know about my gray hair here, and only one person in the world needs to know about my gray hair, and honestly, like, that's not it, and I don't want anybody to know about it, so don't call it color retouch. I mean, in gray coverage, just call it color retouch, root touch-up, whatever. Just something else that is not that, okay? And I'm like, so what you're telling me is that you're a very insecure person about your gray hair, that you care too much about strangers think about you, and that you want me to call it something else because you have some sort of issue.
Emotional, damn it!
Sure, yeah, sure. I'll call it that. And so that was the beginning of the conversation of the appointment. At that point, I knew this is not gonna work.
Beginning of the end.
The beginning of the end, correct. Simple haircut, you guys, can change completely the style, the look, the effect of the hair. Not everything has to be super extra elaborated, as long as you know how to like approach it. Sometimes details are what really matters, and like I was explaining to you guys, whenever you do bangs, you gotta make sure that you pay attention to the receded hairlines, because those receded hairlines will actually make the entire front of the hair look very different. Even if you measure it correctly, it might look wrong, because there's that gap, and you ought to connect the gap. So, any other questions you guys have? Any challenges? Curiosity about me? Well, Anna now is not. She is a stylist on the floor now. So she did a year with me. But we were, so Cassandra Cunha, she worked with me for 3 years. And so she was a stylist, independent stylist, with me at Salons by JC. I'm here like next door. So I took Anna in as an assistant because there's only room for 2 chairs only, And so I took Anna because the workload for me was like getting super heavy, and I wanted to start more like mentoring. I love mentoring, I love developing. Again, 20 years from now, I might still be cool, but not as cool as I am right now. And I feel like now I'm starting to think about legacy more than anything. How can I pass on anything that I have that is meaningful and important or powerful to the next generation so that they can take on, And so Anna started working with me and started shadowing me first in October 2023, and then in March 2024, last year, she graduated, she got her license, and then started full-time with me. And Cassandra, she decided that she was gonna leave somewhere else. Not for anything bad, we have an incredible, it's like, I love her a lot. But she needed some place that was more affordable for her. And we have a friend who opened a salon who offered both of us an opportunity to go work at her salon for less rent. But when I asked if there was going to be a chair for Anna, she said no, that she had a stylist that's part-time, and that Anna could take the chair the days that stylist is not there. But I'm like, no, because I have a vision, and this is something that I want you guys to understand too. I don't make decisions based on money. I make decisions based on vision. It's funny because sometimes you guys have heard the word provision, right? Like you got provided for, or, you know, provision for whatever came. I always tell people, take the pro, and what word do you end up with? Vision. Provision. So provision always follows vision. No vision, no provision. So if you have a vision that is clear, consistent, and you know where you want to go, you make decisions based on that. Not on whether I'm going to save some money or not. And I'm not saying be stupid about having a vision that doesn't really match reality. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, if you have a vision and it's going to stretch you a little bit and it's going to challenge you a little bit, go for that challenge more than go for the safety of saving money. I take risk. I'm a risk taker. I said, Anna, you're gonna be with me and you're gonna get a chair and we're gonna develop this. But Anna still goes to university. And I said, well, you gotta stop the semester just to be full-time behind the chair only. And in my mind, I thought, if she says yes, that's gonna be a sign that this is a good decision. If she says no, then I'm gonna go and find someone else. But I wanted her to develop. I wanted her to grow. For me, it's like about developing others. And she said, yep, let's go for it. So I'm like, all right, this is cool. And Anna has been behind the chair, it's been like 3 weeks, yes? 3 weeks only? 2 weeks? Bro, she's gotten almost 10, like I would say like between like 6 to 8 5-star reviews with like people loving how she's doing hair. She's a mini me though. So it's really cool to see her. Like, sometimes I'm like eardropping in her conversations. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. Good question, Anna, go, that's it. And honestly, one of the things that I tell Anna is like, hey, if you don't feel sure about something, be honest and be transparent with your client. The client will appreciate that more, and then come to me. Don't let me go to you. I want you to come to me, because that shows confidence in the sense of like, you know what? Even if I don't know this, I'm confident enough to ask questions and to actually find a solution. If I cannot find a solution, then you know what? I'm willing to say, I'm not going to do it. Does that make sense? That is way better than just, I'm going to try, I'm going to figure out, and you sell something to the client that you can actually do not do. Does that make sense? All right. So last thing that I do with the haircuts with my client, I tell her to look to the sky, to the birds in the air, and then I'll put a little bit of spray there, texturize it, and then when I say 3, it's going to be the big reveal. So I'll grab a little bit of hair in the middle, right there, and I say 1, 2, 3, and I have her go, and I'm recording, and I'll do boom, and then it's like, look at that. Yeah? Right?
Me next.
It's funny because she can't see anything right now. It's like, where you guys are like, dang, it looks so good. See how much movement she has, how airy the hair is. It's like, you can play around with it and it's still full, still like long, all that. And when we take it off, she has a white shirt. You see the contrast? That looks amazing. Here, take a look. You can look at yourself in the. Work, and I know it's gonna be a really cool like change. I'll ask her, hey, if she has blonde hair, hey, can you come with something like black? If she has like dark hair, hey, can you come with something like it's a white or some intentional? I don't do that always, but moments like this, I purposely ask her, can you come with something white? Does that make sense? Because I do want to showcase her hair. I take your glasses off for a second because I don't want to. If you have a phone and take pictures with a phone, that's awesome. I like camera. Nothing beats a good camera. 2 feet, 3 feet away from the wall, because if not, the whole thing is gonna be, you want your phones have like a focus. If you have her too close to the wall, the focus is gonna be gone, and then you're gonna take the whole wall with everything else. And I take like 1,000 pictures though. One of those is gonna work, half of them are not. And I do all kinds of angles. Of course, with time, I've gotten better with the angles. Nothing beats a good camera. But if you have phone, of course, you go for the phone. But it's always important to create content. It's always important to, you know. All right, can you guys give a round of applause to my amazing model? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, we're finished with the class. Here's the class, and we're excited. So 1, 2, 3. Woo! Yeah, baby! Oh, they're gone. Okay. Can I? Oh. Okay. They told me not to, so I'm not gonna do it. It's okay. All right, guys, take a look at the. This is amazing, amazing, like spot. This is where they do hair. They're waiting for clients or something. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but this is cool. Okay. So, all right, guys, we did it. We did it. Bye. She's photogenic and she can like really like showcase my